Tonight on Nightline, Mr. President, a ravaged economy, uncertainty overseas, and a new president elected to fix it all. Tonight, he speaks to Congress and the world. But can he restore hope to a nation short on confidence? George Stephanopoulos is here with the Nightline report card. And Great Awakening. He is a spiritual teacher to the stars, from Paris Hilton to Oprah Winfrey. Nightline has a rare interview with Eckhart Tolle and his keys for saving yourself and the planet. Plus, Baby Daddy, at just 13 years old, this British boy says he is a proud papa. We go inside the shocking story that has reignited the teen pregnancy debate.
From the global resources of ABC News, with Terry Moran in Washington, Martin Bashir and Cynthia McFadden in New York City, this is Nightline, February 24th, 2009.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Terry Moran. It was a big and bold speech by a new president facing deep challenges and huge expectations, delivered at a crucial moment when the country's been battered by talk of bailouts and the harsh reality of recession. And while President Barack Obama didn't sugarcoat it, he found bad guys on Wall Street and in Washington, he did try to strike an optimistic tone and a hopeful note that with patience and personal responsibility and by working together, the country can prevail and thrive.
The President of the United States.
President Obama made his grand entrance into the House chamber, and here, too, he got mobbed. Mr. Obama came to the Capitol riding a honeymoon wave of popularity as a nation racked with economic anxieties looks for leadership. But he also faced a deeply divided Congress, with Republicans so far almost united in opposition. For a moment, though, the splendor of American democracy on display.
Madam Speaker, Mr. Vice President, members of Congress, the First Lady of the United States.
The preliminaries over, the president got right down to business, the recession.
You don't need to hear another list of statistics to know that our economy is in crisis, because you live it every day. It's the worry you wake up with and the source of sleepless nights.
President Obama has been criticized for being too pessimistic, for talking down the economy. So right off the top tonight, he sounded a new, confident theme.
We will rebuild. We will recover, and the United States of America will emerge stronger than before.
His goal tonight was explanatory. Tell the country how we got here, how we'll get out.
We have known for decades that our survival depends on finding new sources of energy. Yet we import more oil today than ever before. The cost of health care eats up more and more of our savings each year. Yet we keep delaying reform. Our children will compete for jobs in a global economy that too many of our schools do not prepare them for.
The answer, the president argued, go big, big plans, big changes.
Now is the time to act boldly and wisely, to not only revive this economy, but to build a new foundation for lasting prosperity.
He spoke to a Congress dominated by Democrats. This was the friendly crowd that passed his economic stimulus package. President Obama faced a huge challenge tonight: explain his plan for the banks and get people to like it. With taxpayers already on the hook for more than $1 trillion and the banks still staggering, the president said he will not let the financial system fail.
We will act with the full force of the federal government to ensure that the major banks that Americans depend on have enough confidence and enough money to lend even in more difficult times.
But there is so much anger out there, anger at the banks and at Wall Street, anger that could undermine his plans, and he recognizes it.
This time, CEOs won't be able to use taxpayer money to pad their paychecks or buy fancy drapes or disappear on a private jet. Those days are over.
The anger extends to the government, too, to the system that's burdened the country with ballooning deficits and so much waste. And President Obama sought to tap into that anger, too.
Everyone in this chamber, Democrats and Republicans, will have to sacrifice some worthy priorities for which there are no dollars. And that includes me.
There was hope in this speech, hope in a grand Obama vision of a new energy future, a new health care future, a new education future for the country.
None of this will come without cost, nor will it be easy. But this is America. We don't do what's easy. We do what's necessary to move this country forward.
Mr. Obama has sought bipartisan cooperation, but it was clear tonight a gulf still separates him from Republicans. Listen to their applause on this line.
There is, of course, another responsibility we have to our children. That's the responsibility to ensure that we do not pass on to them a debt they cannot pay. That is critical.
But the president plowed on, unfazed, tweaking the Republicans for their fiscal stewardship.
With the deficit we inherited, the call...
And then, as presidents do, he sought to rally all Americans with the stories of a few he'd invited to the Capitol, including a girl from South Carolina whose school is a shambles and who wrote the Congress and the president with a request for money to rebuild it.
The letter asks us for help and says, we are just students trying to become lawyers, doctors, congressmen like yourself, and one day presidents, so we can make a change to not just the state of South Carolina, but also the world. We are not quitters. That's what she said. We are not quitters.
As he left the hall, the president seemed pleased with the night. The real question, however, is, are you? Are you? Convincing the American people of maybe the president's biggest challenge of all. So let's do it. It's time for the Nightline report card. And, of course, we're joined now by George Stephanopoulos, our chief Washington correspondent, host of This Week. George, let's start with the president's message, with what he had to say. Do you think he succeeded in getting that message across? What do you think?
I think he did on this goal, Terry. I think he was succeeded in convincing the country tonight that he has a strategy for getting us out of this. There's several different parts of the strategy. Some of them aren't popular at all. You talk about that, his section where he talked about the banks and how he knows that bailing out the banks is not popular, but what he did tonight, what he started to do tonight was convince people that deep down this was not about helping the banks, but it was about helping everyone, and that the credit crisis, solving the credit crisis is essential to getting this economy moving again. It's going to make a difference in everyone's lives. I think that was his most important goal tonight, to convince people that he had a strategy, that it had a chance of working, and he also did a pretty good job of reminding people of the popular parts of the packages that he's already passed.
That bank piece is going to be a very hard piece to sell. This was his first address to a joint session of Congress at such a presidential moment. Let's talk about how he handled the style of the moment. What do you think?
I think his unfamiliarity with his forum, like you say, it's the first time he's ever done it, showed a little bit. He jumped the gun, started to give his speech even before the speaker introduced him, had to look around for Michelle, didn't know exactly where she was standing, and I think he had a hard time figuring out whether to just drive through to the viewers at home with the narrative that he was going through, or to work the crowd and work the applause lines. I think at one point he was even a little bit frustrated that he wasn't getting more bipartisan applause. So he ad-libbed a line coming when he was talking about parental responsibility, saying this is not a Democratic issue or a Republican issue, it's an American issue. Then everybody got up. I think by the end, he was more comfortable with it, and I think he was starting to enjoy even the partisan response that he was getting.
He did seem to warm to his speech and to the room in a way, and that room is a theater with Republicans and Democrats. When the presidents speak in that situation, they'll jump to their feet in one line, sit on their hands in another. The reception. How do you think the reception was for this speech?
I think there was a bit of tentativeness there, too, for both Democrats and Republicans. Again, they couldn't quite figure out exactly how to respond to this. You know, the Republican Party made a choice with the stimulus package, and you saw it again tonight. Basically, they're going to stand their ground, stand their principles, oppose what the president is trying to do. They say he's spending too much money, that there's going to be too much waste. They're clearly not enthusiastic about doing more for the financial system right now. Governor Jindal didn't even talk about it tonight. So I think there was a tentativeness to the response tonight. What's really going to matter, though, in the response is how this is received in the country and whether it works.
That's the bottom line. Of course, he's got to deliver now. George, thanks very much for that, as ever.
Thank you.
That's the president's speech. When we come back, we'll turn the page to a spiritual teacher whose own great awakening has inspired millions, even Oprah.
ABC News Nightline, brought to you by IBM.
What is a petaflop?
A petaflop is 150,000 computations for every human on the planet per second. This computer can be used to help
redesign our energy grid.
Cure diseases in the vascular system.
You could simulate the Big Bang.
We can build
smarter cities, cut down on crime, disease, gridlock.
Global warming.
It can help us make the world work better.
We just broke the petaflop barrier. I'm an IBMer.
Let's build a smarter planet.
Kashi's putting real natural ingredients where you'd least expect them. In frozen food. Our entrees are totally natural, with real nutrition from ingredients like fire-roasted veggies, whole grains, and grilled chicken. Let us surprise you, too, with a free frozen entree at Kashi.com. Get your surprisingly natural frozen entree free at Kashi.com.
Kashi, 7 whole grains on a mission.
This winter, lots of people are finding great hotel deals on Expedia. Get incredible deals on some of your favorite hotels like Orlando from $90 or Vegas for $55. Plus, book now and get $50 back. Expedia.com.
Somewhat reluctant to try lower sodium soups? Try Campbell's Healthy Request soups. All made with lower sodium natural sea salt.
What's the taste?
Taste.
I like the taste of taste.
This is more than my easy button. It's my save so much on ink, we could stop shaking the cartridges button.
Now, recycle any brand of ink or toner and get $3 back in Staples Rewards. Staples, that was easy.
Why let heartburn stop you when you can stop heartburn? Just one Zantac with a cool mint sensation can knock it out all day or all night for strong, lasting relief. Heartburn? Attack it. Zantac.
Comedy legend Don Rickles, all new Jimmy, coming up on ABC.
Tonight, President Obama lays it on the line. But will it be enough to help America regain confidence? Tomorrow, Charlie cuts through it all, getting to the bottom line of what it all means for you. Only on ABC's World News with Charles Gibson tomorrow.
At Chrysler and Jeep, we're working to earn your trust and your business by delivering the best quality and reliability in our history. And now we're announcing Employee Pricing Plus Plus on all our vehicles. You get our employee price plus a $1,500 cash allowance, which all adds up to over $4,700 in savings on a new Jeep Grand Cherokee. Plus, well-qualified buyers get 0% financing. Now getting the vehicle you want has never been easier. We don't want to be just any car company. We want to be your car company. See your Chrysler Jeep dealers today.
Fire and brimstone, his message is not. For spiritual leader Eckhart Tolle, his path to enlightenment is paved with calm and simplicity, focused on experiencing the here and now rather than dwelling on the past or fretting about the future. It's a core lesson that's resonated with all types of people and cultures around the world. Dan Harris interviewed Tolle for our series, Faith Matters.
Paris Hilton took his book with her to prison. Cher swears by him. So does Meg Ryan.
Welcome to a new earth, awakening to your life's purpose.
Oprah Winfrey not only put his book in her book club, but also hosted an unprecedented 10-part online series with him.
Thank you to every one of you for helping us to create this new earth here with Eckhart Tolle and with me.
He is Eckhart Tolle, a decidedly unflashy, unassuming spiritual teacher. He doesn't like the term guru, originally from Germany.
Life is sacred. When you are lost in thought, sacred is meaningless.
Despite his very low-key presentation, his lectures sell out, and he's sold 10 million books.
I found everything resonating inside me. I kept on saying, yes, 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 that's it, that's it.
Like you said, now is the only thing we have.
Tolle granted us a rare interview to talk about how people can achieve the sort of spiritual awakening or inner calm that he claims to have achieved.
Don't you ever get annoyed, irritated, sad, anything negative?
No, I accept what is. And that's why life has become so simple.
Well, if somebody cuts you off in your car?
It's fine. It's like a sudden gust of wind. I don't personalize a gust of wind. And so it's simply what is.
And you're able to enjoy every moment, even if I start asking you a ton of annoying questions?
Yes, that would be fine. So it's really...
Don't tempt me.
Tolle's core message is that our egos are destroying our lives.
To me, what the ego is habitual and compulsive thought processes that go through everybody's mind continuously. Psychologists have found that 98 to 99% of our thinking is repetitive. And also a lot of our thinking is actually very negative. People tend to dwell more on negative things than on good things. So that the mind becomes obsessed with negative things, with judgments, guilt.
In fact, Tolle blames most of the ills of our world on our egos. Wars, broken homes, our destruction of the planet. Tolle's other big point is that we are wasting our lives by refusing to live in the present moment.
Many people live habitually as if the present moment were either an obstacle that they need to overcome in order to get to the next moment. And imagine living your whole life like that, where always this moment is never quite right, not good enough, because you need to get to the next one. That is continuous stress.
Tolle says he can teach people to tame that voice in their head and live in the present through what he calls awakening.
It's a state of consciousness, not some weird belief system that we need to adopt. It's much more fundamental and much more simple.
After he awakened, he says he quit his job as an academic and eventually sat on a park bench, homeless, for several years, living in a state of bliss.
How did you get this way? How did you awaken?
I was so unhappy that I couldn't stand it anymore. I had to step out of this identification with the unhappy mind-created self.
So unhappy that you were considering suicide?
Yes, I was several times close to suicide. And so one night, a shift happened, and I realized the unhappy me, the unhappy self, is not really who I am. I could sense underneath it a presence and an aliveness and an intelligence that had nothing to do with all the negative thoughts that were continuously going through my head.
Part of Tolle's appeal is that he draws from many faiths, quoting Buddha and also Jesus frequently. But some conservative Christians have produced online refutations of Tolle, arguing that he is misrepresenting Scripture.
Do you believe that Jesus is the Son of God?
Yes, but I believe that what Jesus Christ was really teaching was the divinity in everyone.
But do you believe that Christianity is just as valid as, say, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism?
Yes, all the religions at their core, they have a basic truth.
But many Christians would vehemently disagree with that. They would say, our religion is the one true religion.
And that is called the ego. It says, we are right and you are wrong. Religion, for many people, has turned into a form of ego. But for others, it hasn't. For some people, religion actually still works.
Tolle seems unperturbed by any controversy he creates. In fact, it's hard to bother him at all.
So if we were all to sort of leave the room right now and just lock you in here and you'd be by yourself, could you sit happily on the couch here indefinitely?
I'm quite happy being with myself in a room alone. I enjoy that. The present moment is alive. I am alive. The world around me is alive. It's deep enjoyment of living.
And to those who are going to hear this and say, flaky, you say, fine, you're losing out.
It's your mind that has some judgments about it, because your mind doesn't understand what I'm talking about. So then there needs to be a little bit of a glimmer of a recognition from a dimension that is deeper in the mind in you. And then you see, whoa, he actually has a point.
And if you can see his point, says Eckhart Tolle, you can change your life for the better forever. For Nightline, this is Dan Harris in Toronto, Canada.
Well, that's one way to free your mind. Thanks to Dan Harris for that. When we come back, it's a boy, the 13-year-old boy, who claims to be a proud new father.
Robitussin knows one of the reasons we cough is to help clear away mucus. Robitussin DM Max has a double dose of the medicine that helps clear mucus while also controlling your cough. Robitussin DM Max, double the strength against mucus for a reason.
We had a health concern. Turned out to be nothing, but it got us doing more to protect our health, like taking silver.
Centrum Silver age-adjusted multivitamins have key antioxidants that help support natural cell repair.
Our health protection starts with Centrum Silver.
All right, class, let's button it. Becker.
Here.
Callahan. Callahan. Delivery confirmation on Callahan.
Drop them off at 8:15.
Gymnasium.
No, sir. No Callahan.
Always.
No Callahan. Just a freshman.
Thank you.
No emails from his parents. Drivers, I need a 20 on Callahan. Got him. Reroute him straight to detention.
Get more done now with the new BlackBerry Curve, the only BlackBerry Curve with Nextel Direct Connect.
Don't look, but you're totally getting scoped out right now.
Seriously, where?
Don't look. Been staring at you for like 20 minutes.
What, that? That's the money you could be saving with Geico.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Everybody's talking about the economic tsunami. What does that mean to a surfing CEO?
Tsunami in surfing is sort of a thrilling prospect, but the tsunami in business is kind of terrifying, and you have to watch the management of your assets very carefully. You know, you have to do things at the speed of light these days to stay ahead of the wolf pack.
Right.
And without technology, we would be nowhere. It helps you to still rip it up.
Wednesday.
What do you remember?
I remember dying. The mystery of John Locke's death will be revealed.
You have to help me. You're supposed to help me.
ABC's Lost. All new Wednesday at 9/8 Central on ABC.
There's one place you can go to live smarter, to eat better without spending more, to fill up for less, to find thousands of things you need most and save every day, to get well, stay well, and to live well for less, all with one powerful little card. Safeway is the smart way to shop. Safeway, ingredients for life.
Wow. What? Nothing.
I can take this whenever you guys are ready.
Oh, thanks. Because I paid for it last, so, you know.
That's it. Love this place. Free Wi-Fi.
Free paper.
Free refills.
If you like free, you'll love WAMU Free Checking. Get free online banking, a free debit card, free checks, and free ATM cash withdrawals.
Do you have a biscotti? Another one?
Biscotti's free.
Yeah, I knew that.
Free checking from WAMU. Now backed by the power of Chase.
If you're shopping for a car, you should know that Toyota has been rated the best overall value by IntelliChoice.com. That's because Toyota quality saves money. Visit your Toyota dealer right now and get $4,000 cash back on the rugged Tundra or the 8-passenger Sequoia. Or come in today and choose $2,000 cash back on the popular 2008 Highlander. See your Toyota dealer now to start saving now. Toyota, a smart way to keep moving forward.
Nightline continues from Washington with Terry Moran.
Homework, soccer practice, chores, maybe a crush on a cute classmate. That's pretty much the typical life of a typical 13-year-old. But one British boy and his 15-year-old girlfriend, they've apparently added parenting to that to-do list. And so began the firestorm of controversy, as Nick Watt now reports.
What do you have to do to be a good dad? Look after her, let her change. Look after her.
Baby-faced daddy Alfie Patton is just 13 years old.
he looks even younger.
Roxanne. Maybe Roxanne.
His girlfriend Chantel is 15 and a little more worldly.
What will you do financially? What's financially? What will you do for money?
For now, The Sun, a tabloid newspaper, is allegedly paying for their story and has taken the little family to a safe house.
And how about Alfie? Is he enjoying himself with Macy?
Yeah, he helped me with the night, and he didn't do all right, but he did the first bit with me. But no, he's coping really well with her.
Don't most boys of Alfie's age just play with action men and think all girls have cooties? Anyway, this country is now hotly debating the rights and wrongs.
I just think it's a really appalling indictment of our society in general.
This child didn't ask to be born into the world, and at least she's got a life now.
They're calling Alfie a teenage dad, but apparently he was only 12 when the baby was conceived.
I find it quite shocking, to be honest. I don't know why it's such a big deal.
The government disapproves.
Kids that young should not be being parents.
But approval from the pro-life lobby.
And no matter what the circumstances, and certainly these aren't ideal, and no one will say they are, this baby is still a little human being, and we're delighted that she has been born.
Because in Britain, around 60% of teenage pregnancies end in abortion.
You've got lots of support from your family. Yeah. Are you going to stay at school? Yeah.
Yesterday, The Sun showed Alfie wearing a sweatshirt with the words on the back, Alfie Patton, I'm the daddy. Because, well, other teens now claim that they are, in fact, the father.
Do you think that you're too young to have a baby? I am.
Alfie's got himself an agent who says that Alfie will take a DNA test to prove who's the daddy. Alfie and The Sun are sticking to their story. I'm Nick Watt for Nightline in London. That's just horrifying in a way. Alfie's going to grow up real quick. Our thanks to Nick Watt for that. When we come back, the president's speech may be over, but the breakdown has just begun.
Wednesday.
Who'd want the city's most beloved columnist dead?
Who'd want him alive? Everyone's a suspect, but the last person you'd expect is the killer.
You are under arrest.
ABC's Life on Mars. All new Wednesday, 10/9 Central on ABC.
At the end of the day, news is still breaking. Stories still changing.
New at 11 o'clock now.
You need to know what's new at 11 every night.
Late tonight, the school board told us...
New at 11. K2 News on your side.
We love coming to A&W for one reason. Hot dogs, your clothes.
Now get 21 pieces of crunchy shrimp with fries, all for only $3.99. It's a shrimp lover's dream come true. Now at A&W.
My place.
I got all the options. Sunroof, moonroof, satellite radio. You gotta have navigation, adjustable mirrors, MP3 jack. Make sure you're connected with all your latest downloads. So I like having all the options, which is, of course, why I love Chevron with Techron. It's not your standard equipment gas. I mean, no other gasoline has more cleaner than Chevron does.
No gasoline has more cleaning power than Chevron with Techron.
I think I broke it.
At Chrysler and Jeep, we're working to earn your trust in your business by delivering the best quality and reliability in our history. And now we're announcing employee pricing plus on all our vehicles. You get our employee price plus a $1,500 cash allowance, which all adds up to over $4,700 in savings on a new Jeep Grand Cherokee. Plus, well-qualified buyers get 0% financing. Now getting the vehicle you want has never been easier. We don't want to be just any car company. We want to be your car company. See your Chrysler Jeep dealers today.
From your desktop to your laptop, from your home to where you want to be, it's time to get unlimited. Get Cricket Broadband and get fast mobile internet access at a price that fits your budget. Call 1-800-718-8715 now or hurry into a Cricket store today to get in on this great deal.